What's up everyone, welcome to another camera comparison video. Today I have this Xiaomi Mi 11 and Vivo X60 Pro. Yeah, I have the smartphones and this is true content. Please support true honest content. If you end up liking this video, then please don't forget to click on the like button and subscribe to this channel. Also, please don't forget to share this video on your social network like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And if you have any other camera comparison requests, like I have this Vivo X50 Pro, Vivo iQOO 7, Samsung S20 FE, and I'm waiting for my Vivo X60 Pro Plus and Samsung S21 Ultra. So if you have any other camera comparison video request, please don't forget to make a comment in the comment section below. Also, there is an international smartphone giveaway going on. Don't forget to check that. Well, let's start our camera comparison video. What's up everyone, welcome to another camera comparison video. Today I have the Xiaomi Mi 11 and Vivo X60 Pro. Okay, listen carefully which microphone is working better. Check my clothes. Yeah, color rendition is already better on Vivo X60 Pro. Check carefully in which video I look better. Yeah, it depends on you, which one you prefer. Please don't forget to make a comment and let me know about this selfie camera video. Of course, there is a smartphone giveaway going on. This is an international smartphone giveaway. So it doesn't matter where are you from. You can just make a comment, a valid comment, and subscribe to this channel. Yeah, in that way you are joining this giveaway. Okay, before we flip to rear cameras, one request. If you end up liking this video, then please don't forget to click on the like button and subscribe to this channel. Also, please share this video on your social network like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and help this channel to grow. These are daytime main sensor photos. Please remember that Vivo X60 Pro comes with Sony IMX598 48 megapixel sensor underneath that precious G's lens from Curl-G's AG, and Mi 11 comes with Samsung ISOCELL Bright HMX 108 megapixel sensor. Yes, in daytime under bright daylight, both of these two performs great. If you don't compare these photos side by side, then you wouldn't notice that even if these photos looks great and similar, actually there are some differences. I am happy to see that Xiaomi Mi 11 has really put up a fight. Or should I say Vivo X60 Pro fought hard? Cause in some cases Xiaomi Mi 11 performance is better than Vivo X60 Pro, while X60 Pro proven better in different conditions. I can say both offers images that is sharp, full of details and dynamic range, but after snapping and checking almost 100 pictures side by side in the past 3 days, I found some key differences. Vivo X60 Pro most of the time under bright lighting condition increases ambience and vibrance. But interestingly, exposure is almost perfect. When a face is detected, Vivo X60 Pro grabs more details and textures on the subject. In the process, background loses sharpness and gets a bit soft. On the other hand, Mi 11 always have this increased highlights and saturation issue, which is actually barely noticeable and pretty minimum. But as these are true flagships, I'm trying to point out all the pros and cons. Both processed a lot of textures and both offers great details in the shadows. Yes, dynamic range and white balance jumps back and forth, there is no clear pattern of that, but most of the time it depends on ambient lighting condition. However, color rendition is obviously better on Xiaomi Mi 11, it's almost true to life. I also must mention that AI feature of Mi 11 is getting better with every update it gets. There are 3 factors you need to consider when you judge low light photos. Before I share those factors and points, please note that this is a trend. In any low light condition where there are a lot of colors needed to be reproduced, none of these two smartphones performed like a true super flagship. First of all, these photos are taken in a very harsh lighting condition. Number 2, color rendition is better on Mi 11 while X60 Pro produced perfect sharp images with enormous details and textures. Color rendition is better on Mi 11 while X60 Pro produced perfect sharp images with enormous details and textures. Finally, Mi 11 kept the correct skin tone, exposure is correct on both the subject and background. While Vivo X60 Pro photos are slightly overexposed, midtones and shadows are a bit too higher than usual. Yeah, white balance is pretty similar, and once again, there is a negligible difference, but Vivo X60 Pro photos are slightly saturated. Vivo X60 Pro got two telephoto lenses, one 13 megapixel 2x optical and another 8 megapixel periscope for 5x zoom. On the other hand, Mi 11 doesn't have any telephoto lens. It uses its 108 megapixel main sensor and applies digital cropping to deliver zoom images. These are 2x zoom images. At a glance, both look similar, but for sure, X60 Pro picture is sharper, and after cropping in, we can see the real difference. Of course, there is more textures and less grains in images produced by X60 Pro. Now this is another picture. Yes, it's 200% cropped in of a 5x zoom photo. Vivo X60 Pro image is amazingly sharper. There is enough details along with superb texture processing, while Mi 11 failed. This is why I prefer to use a smartphone with a periscope lens. I always say hardware is important, but a lot depends on software. Look at this. Even if X60 Pro has more details and sharpness, due to poor stock camera application, rendered colors and tonal contrast is truly awful. Okay, these are bokeh or portrait photos, and I request that you watch through this part cause this is the most interesting part of this comparison. Vivo X60 Pro comes with a 2x telephoto lens and it is dedicated for true 50mm portrait photos, while Mi 11 depends on the main sensor for portrait photos as there is no telephoto lens. When I compare portrait photos, I care about bokeh effect, edge detection, amount of textures processed in the subject and the separation line blend. I always mention in all of my camera comparison videos, and yes, a lot depends on personal preference. This will be a preference thing for sure. It depends on what you prefer. Like Samara, the model in these pictures, feels she looks better in the images grabbed by Vivo X60 Pro. Actually, I think nobody would like to look pale. I have chosen this place and background with harsh lighting condition cause this would make a clear difference. It is clear that there is a difference in white balance and tonal contrast. Vivo X60 Pro slightly saturates the color and surprisingly white balance is a bit warm. Usually Xiaomi is known for warm color temperature, but I have found Mi 11 always produces images with a bit cool color temperature. However, I have mentioned this earlier and once again, Vivo X60 Pro color rendition is a bit far from reality, cause it rendered colors with different tonal contrast and color curve, which indeed made skin tone and background look better than Mi 11. Edge detection, edge cutouts and separation line blend. Performance randomly jumps back and forth, but Vivo X60 Pro is a bit ahead. Xiaomi Mi 11 most of the time has clearly fell behind. However, details and dynamic range is a bit better on Mi 11. From low light to bright daylight, and white balance on both of the smartphones changed. Xiaomi increased highlights and white balance is back to its original warm temperature, while Vivo X60 Pro increased vibrance, but exposure and highlights are almost perfect. In terms of details and sharpness, there isn't any big difference. Color grading issue on Vivo X60 Pro continues. I must mention that increased highlights and a bit lower contrast ratio didn't make the image any worse, rather it turns the images lucrative and eye-pleasing. A lot depends on how you want it and what your preferences are. Yeah, it's truly difficult to judge, but my vote goes to Vivo X60 Pro. These video clips are recorded at 1080p 30 frames per second, and if you don't know yet, then yes, both X60 Pro and Mi 11 got OIS on main sensor and offers a very good stabilization while recording at 1080p 30 frames per second. Dynamic range is better on Mi 11. Not only that, skin tone is close to reality and colors are vibrant and true to life. On the other hand, X60 Pro color tone is a bit saturated, exposure and contrast ratio is also not as good as Mi 11. However, if you are looking for details and textures, then Vivo X60 Pro is a bit ahead. The first thing you would notice in ultra-wide photos is exposure. Suddenly Mi 11 exposure took a nosedive and contrast ratio is sometimes way higher than necessary. Vivo X60 Pro kept the trend of slight overexposure, increased ambience and saturation, and as a result of these, along with good texture processing, shadow details are way higher and in general images are sharper and of course lucrative. Other than these, white balance and skin tone in outdoor environment under bright daylight and in indoor environment under low light changes randomly. Even if details and textures are better on X60 Pro under bright daylight, it's not that good under low light, and actually it jumps back and forth. Sometimes Mi 11 and sometimes X60 Pro manage to process more details. I always think about one issue. Why all these brands uses smaller sensor to grab more? In ultra-wide it requires to grab more info and process more textures, but all these brands offers mid-range small sensors for ultra-wide shots. What do you think about this? Yeah, nothing has changed in selfie portrait. All the trends and attributes of rear camera setup is here. Unfortunately, none of these two smartphones managed to reproduce true to life color tone. While Xiaomi Mi 11 actually did fairly better with skin tone, Vivo X60 Pro tried to make things beautiful, eye-catching. Bokeh effect and edge detection is not that different and both performed well. I would say Vivo X60 Pro did a bit better and looks like flagship. Time for selfie photos, and I'm not going to describe these selfie photos cause there is an international smartphone giveaway going on for subscribers of this channel. I would choose someone based on a valid and descriptive comment. Why don't you try to differentiate between these selfie pictures and make a comment? These videos are recorded at 4K 30 frames per second. Both Xiaomi Mi 11 and Vivo X60 Pro started to perform differently. Yes, many Xiaomi smartphones uses different REC codec to render 4K videos, and that makes a huge difference. Also, Vivo X60 Pro totally overexposed and none has managed to grab enough details and processed textures that we expect on a 4K video. Okay, what do you think? Which one is your winner? Vivo X60 Pro or Mi 11? Please don't forget to make a comment. And if you have liked this video, then please don't forget to click on the like button and share this video on your Facebook, Twitter. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel.